Good morning. It's Tuesday, September 18th. My name is Cale Casey, and we welcome you to what we call Live at 5. Well, I actually used to be Live at 5. Now it's Live at Sunrise. First fire facts. This is our morning opportunity to get your questions answered, give you the facts in the fire, and ask for your questions to post them here. So thanks everybody last night for joining us at the Red Barn. The community meeting last night was fantastic. We had over 100 people, and thanks for joining us online as well. We'd like to give a special shout out to the mayor and to the Commissioner Hover for being part of our meeting, and to everybody who asked questions. We're going to deal with answering some of those today. And on behalf of Chris Schulte's Type 1 team, we just want to thank everybody for their kindness and for being part of our moving forward as we bring these fires to completion. Just following up on the meeting, we're going to post the flyover video. We're going to post a whole bunch of photos. We're going to continue to look for your questions, so go ahead and watch that video. We'll cut one section out today on the repair piece. Joe Tone, our branch director, did a superb job on that. We'll cut that out and put that up on its own so you can see it. He details all the work that's being done in the repair. And then we have a special guest today. And one of your themes last night at the meeting was that you have a passion for learning more about the fuels reduction, the thinning, prescribed fire. We happen to have on our team for this week Traci Weaver from the Regional Fire Program Office for Oregon, Washington, and she's going to give us some of the success stories. Come on in, Traci. Welcome to the program. And we're going to give you a little insight into the success on McLeod Fire, right?
Right. So sitting at the regional office, I'm able to see a lot of fires across the landscape this year that fuels treatment effectiveness, where fuels treatments were able to help stop a wildfire from spreading and becoming more devastating. And one classic example was right here on the McLeod Fire, where it was aligned to make a down drainage run right into Winthrop. But what happened was firefighters, despite 30-mile-an-hour winds, firefighters were able to make a stand in an area where, since 2004, the Okanagan-Wenatchee has been working diligently on thinning and prescribed fire projects. They had an area of 2,700 acres treated that firefighters were able to make a stand and stop the forward progression of that fire. And why we're bringing this up now is because we're moving into the fall prescribed fire season. And I know folks are probably a little concerned about that, given the fact that, Twist had 30 days of unhealthy air during the wildfire season, and Winthrop had 19 days of unhealthy air during the wildfire season. But compare that to prescribed fire. During prescribed fires, we burn under a prescription, which means we burn under conditions that are under our terms, when we know that the smoke will have a much greater chance of going away from the valley or dispersing high and not infiltrating the valley and sitting under an inversion that just keeps you in those unhealthy air instances. So this year on the Okanagan-Wenatchee, we've had one day in the Methow Valley where smoke from prescribed fires was unhealthy for sensitive folks. And that's it, one day compared to 30 days with the wildfire. So as we move into that prescribed fire season, we just ask that you support us and work together to make more healthy forests.
Great, thanks so much, Traci. That's fantastic. And again, thanks for your passion last night. If you didn't get a chance to see the meeting, it is online. Lots of good questions in there, and I want to address a few more. Some of the folks who are into horses and horsebacking asked about the infrastructure for wooden bridges, and we'll go ahead and try to get exact details on that. I don't believe that there was much damage or any damage to some of them, but we want to follow up. That's some facts we should have later. There are plenty of questions about the firewood, and Joe Tone, our branch director, who did that piece on the repair, a lot of the logs that came out from the suppression efforts were, as you recall, they put in the alternate and contingency lines, and those will end up becoming shaded fuel breaks, but that's part of the suppression effort. If the fire were to move, jump the river, and start moving towards Winthrop or Twist, that's what those big lines were put in for. There are therefore enormous log decks that are forming from that. The high quality wood that's being graded by a professional that we brought on to our organization to help us judge the wood has made big decks. And then the low quality wood that can't be either overburned or some beetle kill. We talked last night at the meeting. It seems like the plan is for Christopher, the district ranger, the Methow here, to make that available through some sort of permit program for firewood. So we'll follow up on that. As we know, there were some questions about what happens after our team leaves, Chris Schulte's Type 1 Incident Management Team from Oregon, Washington. We're going to be the last big team on this fire. We said that day one. We've been saying it every day. When we transfer this over, it'll be back to the district. The district will have a smaller what's called a Type 3 incident management organization. That's from the local experts. If they need some more, they'll bring them in. Those folks will be assigned to the problem areas of the Sunshine area and to the Buttermilk area, meaning that until there's a season-ending event, until there's rain or snow or something that puts these out, that smaller organization will be tasked with making absolutely sure that the line stays in, that the aerial supervision continues, that the satellite from the MODIS, we have special technology up there above our earth that can look down and help us look at heat signatures in this area and this area. So we had a really nice lady who lives in Lost River. We just want to thank you for coming out and asking that question about what's next. I'm not sure that answer was crystal clear, but they're always, after a big organization, is a small organization. There will also be the Burned Area Emergency Response Team, and we had a presentation on that last night by Luke. They'll be coming in on the 24th, and their job is to take this red area and make sense of it for you, to give you an idea of what intensities the fire burned at. The areas that are high, the areas that are low, meaning the areas where the trees were all damaged all at once, and the areas where it burned underneath. They'll map that all out for you. They'll map out the soil, and they'll be doing that work for about 2 weeks. They'll have their own information officer, and they also have their own website, centralwashingtonfirerecovery.info. So you'll be able to follow that along, and we'll post that online. Some folks asked about, really good question from older gentlemen, will the old fire lines be used? So the lines that were put in for contingency in the different places, will they be used in the future? Or were they used, or did this team find old lines to use? And so just in general, firefighters are can-do, mission-driven people. They're always looking for opportunities to be successful. That's what we're trained to do. Our mission is to protect your property and values at risk. So anytime that we can use something that's already been effectively put in place, so these 2 contingency lines that are now shaded fuel breaks, in the future, if there were a lightning strike next to the Gilbert area that started moving, well, that area is a perfect place to go and reopen up and establish a primary indirect containment line. So the answer is yes. That becomes institutional knowledge for the forest, and it's passed on from year to year. From an ops standpoint, operations standpoint, we just want to remind you that we have hand crews, bulldozers, excavators working on both the Crescent and the McLeod Fire, repairing those lines, repairing everything. We'll have that presentation up so you can see that in detail. We'll bring some repair maps in here for the next couple sessions of Live at Sunrise for you to see. And then the logs that were moved to the suppression effort are still being decked, so there'll still be logging trucks for several days, and you can expect to see them moving around. The acreage, it did grow just a little bit, just a few acres. You'll continue to see it grow in these outer reaches of the fire, smoldering. We're putting more of those photos up. I put a couple up this morning, really early, so you can scroll back up and see them. When you look at your landscape, this incredible mountain area, in here you'll see those outer basins where there's creeping and smoldering. That's going to continue until there's a season-ending event, and that's giving us some more acreage every day. You will see some smoke. You know, we had the little rain and the air clears perfectly, and then there's a little puff of smoke, and people kind of call and wonder and text each other, hey, is the fire coming back? Remember, this is Washington, it's September, we get a little bit of rain, we dry out. The big heavy fuels we've been telling you about, those dead and down 1,000-hour fuels, they're going to continue to smolder right until it snows. So yes, the answer is yes, you're going to see smoking coming off this for potentially weeks and weeks, depending on when that season-ending event comes. Okay, so our glide path here, just to let you know, we'll be doing 2 more episodes after today of this, then we'll be around for a few more days. For phone calls, you can always give us a shout, 480-744-9318. And I want to leave you with all firefighters have 5 communication responsibilities: to brief others, to debrief when they do something, to communicate hazards to others, to acknowledge messages, and to ask if you don't know. So I have that responsibility to ask you all. Please let us know what you're interested in. We have a few more days we can help you out with this large organization. We still have Traci here, Jen Berger, Andy Lyon. We're here to serve you. We want to make sure we get every single question. So I know I've been begging every day, but please take it seriously. Let your friends and neighbors know. Give us a call, send us an email. We're here to serve you. It's a Green Pants Nation. Doesn't matter what badge. We're all here to protect your values at risk. Help us out by letting us know how to serve you. Thank you so much.